Fledglings, welcome. I'm here with my more than human friends, the Catalina Mountains, our mesquite friends here in Prickly Pear. There's some creosote down in the dry riverbed. I've actually brought some calendula and sprinkled it along the desert floor to help us with today's video. And that is because I got a request for head, neck, and shoulders. The request was anti-desk hunch. So we're gonna work with that today. For this particular video, you're gonna go ahead and I'm using a set of yoga tune-up balls. These are fantastic. You can get them online for 12 bucks, I think. And they're just great for a lot of different kinds of fascial rolling. And if you don't have them, what you can do is just find 2 tennis balls, the squishier and older the better, and put them in a sock and tie a knot up at the top so that they stay in place. So once you have your device, whichever you've chosen, let's actually set it aside for a moment and set a baseline. So just sensing into what's present right here and now. So find a comfortable seat so that you're sitting upright. You might even actually slouch a little bit. And notice the inhale that's waiting for you. The exhale after that. And how the next thing is just your next breath. Letting your breath breathe your body. Become aware of the sensations of your head resting on top of your neck. Sensing the weight and volume of your head. And you might even be able to get a sense of what works in your neck to hold your head up. There's nothing you need to fix or change right now. We're just setting a baseline and noticing. And for many of us, that attention may bring forward a sense of discomfort, and that's okay. And when you're ready, a breath in, and let it go. Take your rolly balls. I'm just turning around so you can see where we're going. Take your rolly balls and you're going to bring them on either side of your cervical spine. So if you imagine between the 2 balls, there's a little valley. That valley is going to be where your spine goes. So there's not actually a ball on your spine, it's cradling each side. From there, come lying down with your head on a yoga block or maybe a thick book. A Harry Potter book works very well for this. And if you get here and you realize the sensation is too strong, put some padding underneath you, a blanket or a towel or 2. And you might even rather just fold up a towel and lay on it. And notice that your breath is still available. And then start to noodle your head around. You might notice the approach that you've started to take. Have you gone in aggressively as though you have to change the tissue itself, or that more sensation means better? And just knowing that our work here is less of ironing out tissue, which is not really possible, and it's more into letting your nervous system know that the sensations there are okay, and that you're well supported. And I wonder over these next few breaths if you might find something that you really enjoy here and revel in it. Easy breath in. Let it go. have all the time in the world to make your way back up to seated. There's no rush. When you're ready to move to the next, take the ball now. Oh, a little spider friend. Hey, sweetie. I don't know the spider friends well enough here in the desert to hang out with them super close. When you're ready, you're now going to take the ball to one side. So you're going to find that side of your cervical spine where you just were and put one ball there, so it's almost on a diagonal. And then the other ball is going to go right to this notch, like right where your earlobe and your jaw kind of turn into each other. You can stay here and work with your hand, allowing that to be the place that you work from. Some of you may enjoy coming to lying down with that same space. So the ball, one ball at your cervical spine and the other in that little notch. And now wherever you found yourself, noticing your breath, and checking in to see if the sensation is tolerable. And if it's not, what would you need to do to make this tolerable? You might start to nod your head. And you might shake your head. Draw little circles. Or you might have found movements that are just intuitive and work for you and your experience. And over the next few breaths, I wonder if there's anything here you might really enjoy and savor it. Easy breath in. Let it go. There's no rush to make your way up to seated. Take your balls now, and you're going to take them one to that notch in your ear, or under your ear where you just were. And the other one's going to come, if you find your upper jawbone and start to trace it down, you're going to find this padding here that's a muscle. It's called your masseter. It's a chewing muscle. So one ball is going to go at that ridge behind your jawline, sort of where your jaw cuts, and the other is going to go to your masseter. And you're going to once again see how it is to lay down. And if you get here and you're like, oh, that's a lot of sensation, either add more padding once again, or sit up and use your hand to apply the amount of pressure that you want. More sensation is not better. And noticing here, your breath in and out. And starting to noodle your head around. And just minding your salivary gland, and you'll probably know if you hit it. And you might just move the ball a little bit. I wonder what happens if you chew your jaw up and down. You might laterally translate your lower jaw side to side. This looks beyond. And I wonder what happens if you yawn. Ooh. Wherever you found yourself, could you enjoy the next few breaths? Easy breath in. Easy breath out. You have all the time in the world. Make your way up to seated when you're ready. And the last spot that we're going to explore here is we're going to slide the ball up. So now the lower ball is where you just were on your cheek, that masseter muscle. And the other one is going to go at your temporalis. So imagine that you were wearing eyeliner and you just kept drawing the line out. That's about where it's going to go. And again, going really soft and kind here. So not applying too much pressure at your temple. And if you get there and you're like, ooh, that's a lot of sensation, you could sit up and cradle your head in your hand. It's actually the version I'm going to do. Letting your breath breathe your body. And nodding into those intuitive movements. What is it like to yawn? And chew your cheek around here, your jaw. That feels good. I wonder what happens if you bring your vocal cords into this. And you might take an inhale. And as you exhale, let out a Try that again. Easy breath in. Let it go. You have all the time in the world. If you're laying down, come on back up to seated. Come back to that first position that you chose to sit in and take a gentle inventory of how your head, neck, and shoulders feel now. If the answer is lopsided, that's good news. You only did one side. If the answer is, that's great. Ask a question, get an answer. It's all good information. Let's take a little break from our neck and let our head just rest. So taking one of the balls and putting it right here between your eyes at that seat of wisdom, that intuition point. And letting the weight of your body rest into that intuition point. Breathing in, breathing out. Exploring what kind of movement would you like here? Or would you like to stay still? You might shake your head, no, no, no. And what happens if you nod your head, yes, yes, yes. Easy breath in, let it go. Let's do the other side of your neck and jaw. From here, find that notch behind your ear again. And then framing the other side of your cervical spine, you can drop your head into the weight of your hand, or come to lying down on this side. So kind of at that strange diagonal again. There's a big Harris hawk family, I think, right overhead. And as you arrive, noticing here what sensations present themselves. And have you started to brace up against the sensation? And if you have, how could you soften a little bit? Even if it's just the sweetness of another breath. And exploring, nodding. If you find any particularly tender point, like just stay there and gently allow the sensation to become a little softer. Almost like you're pouring a balm into the tissue there. And I wonder over these next few breaths, is there something here to enjoy? Easy breath in. Let it go. You have all the time in the world to make your way up. And this side will explore going up towards that chewing muscle, that masseter. So one ball once again behind that notch in your ear, and then the other one at that chewing muscle, excuse me. And you might stay here and let your head go soft into your hand. Or you might go ahead and lay down again. And giving yourself permission to breathe. What do you need to do right now for the sensation to be tolerable? And could you even take a few breaths to enjoy this? Easy breath in. Let it go, let it go, let it go. No rush. You could even stay right here if you like. I'm going to sit up to show you. The next place to travel is right here at that masseter muscle. And the other one at that temporalis now on this side. So again, if you were tracing a line from the crease in your eye, you just keep going out. And again, you could lay your head in your hand, or you could lay all the way down. And one side might be different from the other, which is true if you are a human for most people. Noticing if you've braced yourself to keep from putting the full weight into it, soften it up by putting something underneath or sitting back up. And letting your breath move back in. Exploring what your body would like here. What happens if you chew your jaw around? Or if you yawn? And And I wonder if there's anything here you could enjoy. Easy breath in. Let it go. You have all the time in the world. Make your way up to seated. Sitting in the position that you first began in. Noticing what it's like now to have your head resting on your neck. Sensations at your jaw. Where your tongue is in your mouth. And inviting in a breath. And letting it go. What are you noticing? Leave a comment.